Alrighty then, my all-new ball book of cannon and preserve, and this thing is still warm from the UPS truck, okay? So it is time to get jiggy with it. Today, it is going to be barbecued pulled pork. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. So, I've got a bunch of stuff to chop up, put into my little Dutch oven. Then I chop my 4.41 pound Boston butter into some chunky pieces, get it warm on the stove, and then I pack my jars. So I am ready to do this. Oh yeah, new meal in a jar, barbecued pulled pork. Can you dig it? I am digging it. So one of the first things I need to do is get 1.5 cups of chopped onions. And that is one reason why I like this little Vidalia chopper. There you go, a little measurement right on the side. Can't beat that with a stick. I mean, it's just plastic, but it works really, really well. Cheap and good. Next is 1.5 cups of ketchup. Next to toss into the pot is, what is that? 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar and 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. So now I need to add 2 tablespoons of brown mustard. I'm choosing to use Creole mustard. What's this here sauce? And honey. So this is honey from Bee City, and I just buy these little packages from them and pour it in from the big gallon jugs. Awesome honey. This is so easy. Next is 3 cloves of minced garlic. And if you want to know how to mince up garlic, go to Mama Peterson's house because she got some mad knife skills. And I'm a redneck cockerham. You should be over there learning so you don't cut off another finger. The kitchen is not supposed to be a place where the food isn't good unless you're injured. So now, it ain't pretty. I mix that all up and incorporate it. And then I chunk up my Boston butt and put it in there. Not so hard. Not so hard at all. Digging it. So here it is mixed. Now we're going to chop up our pork into little chunks. And we are going to put this on the stove for 5 minutes to bring it to a boil. Then we're going to simmer for 5 minutes. Then we're going to put it in our hot jars. This could not be easier for reals. Alrighty then. This is my concoction. Maybe 4 pints, 3, 4, not sure, but I got 6 lids going, 6 jars ready. I have to can inside today because it's raining, and we are desperate for rain. So I'm using my Orchard Road canning lids that I love. I will bring this to a boil, then I have to simmer it. So I bring this to a boil. I took the fat, you know, the big bottom layer of fat and some big pieces of fat. Dumped it in my marsh because the tide's out and the little fishes went bananas. So, bring it to a boil. Then I'm going to simmer it 5 minutes. Then I'm going to get it in my hot jars. Put my pressure canner here. Set my jars into that. I'm going to have it on low so that water's hot. So I'll have hot liquid going in hot jars, going into a hot canner. We don't want any change in temperature and risk a jar cracking because that would be so sad. Okay, still rocking, still digging it. So I got my mess cleaned up. I can be putting that up while I'm waiting for this. There's my pressure canner, got it on low. And I've written down I need 1 inch of head space. I'm doing pint jars, so I need to do 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I write down the 10-minute vent start time, even though I set my little mouse timer. And I write down my start time on my process, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Doesn't hurt to make sure your timer's accurate, and like I've said before, I had a timer die before, and I had to start all over, and thankfully, I don't think I was canning meat, but I'm old and I can't remember things. So anywho, I've got to let this come to a boil. It's starting to do so. Then I'm going to simmer it 5 minutes, but look how thick it is. My husband loves the smell. And we're going to open a jar tomorrow. And we can always get Boston butt on sale here on the coast of South Carolina. So if we like this, we'll get several of them. Instead of taking up space in the freezer, we'll be able to do this recipe and have these sandwiches ready to go, or just eating it like barbecued pork with some sides. And what got me really chuffed about this is I watched Prepper Potpourri do a test on simply, like I've done in the past, canning Boston butt in a jar, and then she did a test adding barbecue sauce to the canning jar and processing it, and her family, in a taste test, much preferred the one with barbecue sauce. So I'm hoping this is effective, and it was dead easy to do. So, easy is good. Canning is good. Saving $1. And we have to leave them undisturbed or unmolested, remember, for 24 hours after we process them. So tomorrow night, it tells us that we want to empty the contents of the number of jars into a saucepan, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, and simmer it 15 minutes. Then we're going to take that from the heat, shred the pork up using 2 forks, and put on some buns. My experience is it doesn't take anything to shred up the meat if it's like regular Boston butt that I've canned. So looking forward to it tomorrow, and I'll let you know in the comments how it tasted, but I think it's going to rock. Alrighty then, I've got a little bit of racket in the background because I had to turn on Fred, my fan. So I'll do my best for you to see what I'm doing. And let's get to getting. Let's drag this over. There. So remember, it's 1 inch of head space. And then we got to wipe our lid very good because this is a fatty thing. And we have to use our Pokey Joe. So I've got my vinegar ready. Got my little handy dandy thing. Let's get our Pokey Joe. And this will make, remember, some of its own juice, just like chicken does. But we want to get this space correct. It's a little bit epically important. Let's get a non-slotted spoon, like any bright person would do. Okay, let's Pokey Joe again. Can't Pokey Joe too much. And you know that 1 inch is right below the band. And because I have this in a bowl on a towel, I need to make dead sure that I indeed have 1 inch, because of course it's not level sitting on a towel. Can take a little bit more. There we go. Every time I add something, I Pokey Joe. Doesn't take any effort. It takes a hot minute. It's not hard. Just play it safe. So let's get our vinegar on our rag. Oh yeah, perfected. And we are going to wipe this very well. It's also why I like having it in a bowl. I can just spin it around. And every time you get a little something. You don't think you will, but you do. So I'm going to turn it over. Okay, 1 inch of head space. Get my Orchard Road cannon lid. Try not to dip it into the concoction. And again, I do the limp wrist. And then I fingertip tight. This just works for me. Now I'm setting this in the pressure canner. And then when I have them done, and they're out processing, I'll tell you all about it. The first time I ran this pressure canner, when it did this, it scared the bejeebers out of me. So generally when that happens, it's a fixin' to pop up. So that was a premature pop-up. But it'll happen. It always happens. There it is. Right at this moment, you start your 10-minute vent time. Boom, it finally popped up. Alrighty then, so here they are. And I cannot tell you how delicious this smells. So I got 4 full pints, and I got a little half pint down there because I didn't have enough for another pint, so it worked out perfect. But the smell is fabulous. Looking forward to trying this tomorrow. Get your can on.